Sorry. All right, welcome everyone. We will start the Human Relations Commission meeting for this Thursday, December 11th. Today, we will call to order and do a roll call.
Commissioner Kazi.
Here.
Commissioner Ansari. Here. Commissioner Barr.
Here.
Commissioner Stimler.
Here.
Commissioner Kraus. Vice Chair Kraus, sorry.
There's a red light, is that okay? Yeah. Okay, here.
Commissioner Carnum.
Here.
Commissioner Shea. You have 6 present and a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on topics not related to things that are on the agenda for tonight?
I don't see anybody online. And just as a reminder, folks, this is for items that are not on the agenda at this time. Okay. Chair, there are no public comments.
Great. Are there any agenda changes, additions, and or deletions? I just have one small announcement that I will ask Minka to make for us because we'd like to welcome someone new.
Yes. So it is my pleasure to welcome Sophie Pigman as the new Human Services Manager for the City of Palo Alto. She started on Monday, and she's getting a crash 2-week course on human services and has been doing amazing. She comes from a nonprofit here in Palo Alto, so really you all have the benefit of her understanding this community, and is a nonprofit that serves the unhoused, so has a deep understanding of working with our neighbors experiencing homelessness. So I'm thrilled to have her here. I know Elena is as well, and that is it. Sophie, did you want to say a few words? No need? She is good.
All right, well, welcome. We are thrilled to have you. And you will be, I'm sure, very instrumental in how this commission moves forward. So we're happy to have you. And then with that, we will approve.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a history that I believe Minka's predecessor was Kathy Espinoza Howard. And I met with Kathy Espinoza Howard to try and find a new place for services for the homeless when the storms came in 1990, anyway, and it was Kathy Espinoza Howard who triggered me to found the group that built the Opportunity Center. So the Human Services Director has big roles to play.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for the history. All right, and with that, let's approve the minutes. Can I get someone to move the minutes? Thank you, Vice Chair Kraus. Can someone second the motion?
I second it.
I'll go Shrudar. Commissioner Cardinal. Seconds, all right, and then we'll just take the vote on the
Public comment.
Oh, sorry, public comment.
So is there anybody online or in person that would like to give public comment on the approval of the minutes? Please raise your hand. There are no hands raised, Chair.
Great, thank you. All right, that I will ask Elena to take the vote for us.
Commissioner Kazi.
Aye.
Commissioner Ansari.
Aye.
Commissioner Barr.
Aye.
Chair Stimler.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kraus.
Aye.
Commissioner Carnum.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you, and with that, we will move to the first business item of the day, which will be led by Vice Chair Kraus.
Hi, will the panel come up and join us?
And for the panelists, just as a heads up, when it's your turn to speak, you just hit a red button. And when you're done speaking, if you could turn the red button off.
And I've had an update from State Senator Becker. He'll be here about 6:15, okay? So I make my apologies at his driving and traffic abilities. In any event, thank you. Can we put up, there it is, thank you. We're going to have a discussion today about food security in Palo Alto and the surrounding area. We've invited the experts, the NGOs that provide services and programs and have been working this more years than even I have. In particular, the South Palo Alto Food Closet has been around since the 70s. It's pretty amazing. Next slide. The reason we're doing this is, here are some statistics. 1 in 6 residents in Silicon Valley rely on Second Harvest for their food. That's their numbers, and 1 in 5 people in the San Francisco Bay rely on food banks for their food. And that's increasing at a steady rate. Nearly 12% of the Bay Area from the Correct report are food insecure. That's appalling to me in an area as financially aggressive as this area is. And finally, nonprofits are struggling to keep up with the increasing demand. It's the increased prices, the high cost of housing, and the federal cuts to social services that have driven us into the ground. The reason I asked Senator Becker to join us is because before Thanksgiving, he took out his megaphone and asked for people to drop off food at his district office. Drew, I was wrong with the number. It's 10,000 pounds of food. That's what happens when people keep yelling through the megaphone of the plight. And the reason for this panel is for us to look for future things for the HRC to be involved with, and hopefully council will hear us loud and clear. So the panel is Christina Lago, and I probably pronounced that wrong. She's the CEO and president of Onitas, and she's got her staff members here as well that she will introduce. Deborah Grant, the executive director of La Comida. Drew Navarro, also known as Andrew, who's director of clinical and outreach programs for the Peninsula Healthcare, and they have delightfully, thank you God, picked up the downtown food closet and are keeping it running. And finally, Yvonne Boxerman, the board member from the South Palo Alto Food Closet. So why don't we start with Christina and go down the line. Tell us what you do, what your agenda is, where you are right now, what you're doing to expand given the crisis, and what do you need going forward. Really simple, so that all of my commissioners, my fellow commissioners, can wrap themselves around the gravity of these issues in the city of Palo Alto and the surrounding region.
Thank you. My name is Christina Lugo, and I have a little cold, so I'm going to pass it along to Jillian Halliburton in a minute. She's our Director of Transportation and Volunteer Engagement. Thank you so much, Michelle, for inviting us here. Avenidas is, next slide. Avenidas has really tangentially been involved with food security and providing food to older adults in various ways. And just in November, Jillian and one of our other program directors initiated a food drive that will hopefully be continuing every quarter, hopefully forever, going forward, because what we hear from the food closets and the food banks are that we do such a great job around the holidays, and then people don't forget, but it's not present of mind. So we're going to hopefully continue to partner, and it's so great to meet our partners here tonight. I am going to go through these slides so quick because all three of our locations, our Avenidas Bryant, our Avenidas Chinese Community Center, and our Avenidas Rose Kleiner Center, all provide food security in some way. And it really depends on what the needs are that are identified and how we support them. The next slide goes over our mission and our vision. Our mission is really to keep people, older adults, in the community as long as possible, as healthy, engaged, and active as possible. So obviously, we require food to do that. And so working with our partners and initiating this extra level is going to be really impactful as we go forward. And then the last slide that I'll touch on are our various programs. I believe that you are all aware of Avenidas and what we do, so I won't go over it tonight, but please take a look and always reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to pass it along to Jillian.
Okay. Oh, hi. Let's see. Hello, I'm Jillian Halliburton, and I want to thank you for having us here today. So just going over some of our core, these are the core programs that are highlighted here that touch on food security. We have a lot of other programming, but these are the ones that are connected to food security. And so we have our enhanced care management, which is a county-funded program through our social work program.
State Medi-Cal.
I'm sorry, State Medi-Cal, thank you. Our door-to-door transportation and grocery delivery, which I run, and our general social work services, which includes case management for low-income seniors, and our Rose Kleiner Center in Mountain View that Christina just mentioned, which provides meals and snacks throughout the day to attendees. I wanted to highlight these four folks. I won't go into long stories about them, but they each represent a different form of food insecurity that we encounter. And we do a lot of internal referring between programs at Avenidas. So in the transportation program, for instance, we had a client named Mark who came to us. We saw lots of red flags from the drivers. We referred them to our social work team. They've been working with him, doing an amazing job, and he's now got great hygiene. He's able to get out in the community more. His home is safer for him, and we've connected him through food from our food drive. Beth is someone who is actually a referral from the city to us. She's on CalFresh, but can barely make her food and food needs met each month. We have a driver who works with her because she also has some other challenges and really works with a very tiny budget to meet her food needs. And she could use a lot more support. Matthew is someone who's come to us who actually does have means, but he had trouble trying to get groceries because he has Parkinson's, he has mobility issues, and he was trying to do online ordering himself and having too many problems, so we started doing grocery delivery to him instead. Gwen is an example of one of our past clients who has passed away, but she started to get dementia. And dementia is, in a way, kind of another layer of someone who can have food insecurity because you can have means, but not necessarily have the awareness of how to access those means or how to sort of function on your own. And so we try to support people with all these different types of needs. Next slide, I guess. The enhanced care management that we mentioned earlier is providing more intensive case management for people who qualify for Medi-Cal and CalFresh and other services and often have additional mental health diagnoses and challenges. We try to address their food insecurity needs by helping them to get connected to CalFresh if they aren't already, and to other programs like the food closets and La Comida and other meal programs or deliveries. They also try to connect people to additional financial resources so that they can save some of their money for additional food needs. Next slide. So we've been partnering, we've received emergency funding from 3 different sources over the years. We've had a history of getting funding from the city of Palo Alto, and then more recently from the San Jose Mercury News grant and a grant from Stanford Healthcare that just came as we started our food drive. Clients also get their food delivered, like I mentioned, from door to door if they have mobility issues and cannot drive. And they also receive help ordering food online from our door-to-door team or from a case manager. So in terms of the food drive that we just initiated, we started that in the beginning of November, put out a call and got a lot of donations. We did it due to the government shutdown as the most obvious reason, but also because the social work team is aware of the fact that, as I mentioned before, that the CalFresh funding isn't always enough for people. And we wanted to, do some more to partner with natural partners like we have here on the panel to get more food to more people. We had the existing relationship already with our drivers for door-to-door, helping to deliver food for food closet clients who have aged with the program and are no longer able to get to the food closet to pick up their groceries. And we're hoping to continue to do drives, as Christina mentioned, throughout the year now that we've had this sort of trial run, which has actually been really successful. We have the staff testimonial from Thomas Kingery, who's in the picture here with me. He's the director of our social work services, and I think sometimes the personal story is good. His experience with clients led him to say that food insecurity has many layers. Even when someone signed up with CalFresh, it's not enough. That's why the food closets are so important, coupled with the cost of groceries going up and the cost of living in the Bay Area, as Michelle had mentioned. People usually don't have enough funds each month. They need to spend their own additional funds on food, which is very stressful for a senior in a low-income situation, and they have to pick between feeding themselves now or trying to save for possible care and other future costs, which definitely leads to more stress in their life. That's sort of a good portrait of who we're serving, who are among our low-income clients.
Senator Becker has joined us, and he may not be here for a long period of time, so can we do a segue and have him talk about his food drive would that be all right? Okay, Senator Becker, why don't you come to the podium?
Okay, thank you for interrupting to let me speak for a moment, and apologize for being a little late too, running through the holiday traffic. Yeah, listen, I serve on the Human Services Committee, and as part of my service on the Human Services Committee in the legislature, I became really very strongly aware of how many Californians rely on CalFresh. And as part of that, how many in our own counties here, both that I represent, both Santa Clara County and in San Mateo County, how many tens of thousands of people rely on CalFresh. And what we know and what our office hears is that we were already approaching in some of our food banks near pandemic level of lines and demand for food. Exacerbating this, of course, was the government shutdown and concern that the uncertainty and really panic in some cases, I would say, caused by the federal government shutdown and the idea that these benefits were going to end. Again, even without that, there's already additional uncertainty about work requirements and other things coming into play, and not even the work requirements themselves, but just the paperwork required and how folks are going to be able to navigate that was already causing a lot of uncertainty, and then you layer on top of it the government shutdown. And I just say as one piece of that in talking about CalFresh, we've had a tremendous effort, and I'm sure many here have been part of that to get more people to sign up. We've actually had a very low only about, I think, 70% when I started, of Californians eligible for CalFresh were even signed up. We notoriously had a 112-question form, which maybe inhibited that a little bit. And so we've worked very hard on streamlining that, trying to make it easier, trying to sign up for one service, if you're eligible, and then be then signed up for other things. I had passed a whole piece of legislation about people coming out of prison 2 months beforehand, get them signed up so they know they actually have. That's one less thing they have to worry about as they get back on their feet and reestablish their lives. So again, we've done a lot in California to actually inch up, to get those numbers up, and we were making really good progress before all this happened with this administration. So, which is all just to say that I've spent a lot of time on this, very aware of this, and so when this happened and we started to hear some of the really panicked calls, my team, it was their idea, not mine, stepped into action and said, we're going to establish this drive. And we didn't know really what, would anyone show up or know what would happen. And really, we were just kind of overwhelmed with the turnout from the community. I mean, literally just people just started coming. Some people went to Costco and were about $400 worth of food. We had Girl Scout troops. We had, fourth graders, all collecting food, and just many people just stopping by at all times a day, and ended up being about 10,000 pounds of food. So, and we then worked as quickly as we could to get that out to partners here in the community. I'll say one note of personal pride, whatever we had left over we had a few things sort of left over we donated to the Menlo Atherton drive, which my son, when he was there the last couple of years, was a big part of that. So the largest public school canned food drive in the country, at least what I've been told. Anyway, so a little point of personal pride there. So, which is just to say that it may be even more aware of both the need as well as the fantastic organizations that we have here in our community that are working every day, day in and out, whether there's publicity about a crisis or not. There's great need. And, in times of crisis, we all rally. I know in the pandemic, I was there often, especially with our friends in the labor union, giving out, putting food in people's cars. But we know that this is a year-round piece, that food scarcity is a very real issue. And that a lot of the government shutdown or not government shutdown, that just a lot of the uncertainty around the paperwork, about the new requirements, all of that really adds to this. If I could say one more thing, if I'm not over time. Sure.
Introduce themselves,
Yeah.
so you know who's here.
Yeah. Maybe do you want to do that now, and then I'll maybe one concluding thought, or sure.
Avenidas?
Christina Lugo, I'm the CEO at Avenidas, a local nonprofit that serves older adults and caregivers.
Thank you.
And I'm Jillian Halliburton. I work with Christina at Avenidas running our transportation and volunteer programs.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Boxerman. I'm a board member with the South Palo Alto Food Closet, which serves a lot of people. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Deborah Grant. I'm the new executive director at La Comida. We serve seniors lunch, hot, nutritious lunches every single day, Monday through Friday.
Fantastic.
Over 72,000 meals a year.
It's fantastic.
Drew Navarro with Peninsula Healthcare Connection. I am the Director of Clinic and Outreach Programs, and we recently acquired the Downtown Food Closet here on Hamilton, right down the street. So we're happy to be here and talk about that today.
Sorry, who are you with again? With
Peninsula Healthcare Connection.
okay, great.
They acquired the Downtown Streets Food Closet and are currently operating it. Because I know you're familiar with Downtown Streets.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. I just want to thank you all for that work. one of when we, in the good times, budget surpluses, we were able to get some money for the Community Service Agency of Mountain View, Los Altos, and I know some of those volunteers, they were also La Comida volunteers, because they told me about that, their work volunteering there, and so many people I know in our churches and synagogues and faith, communities across this area also are oftentimes volunteers in these organizations. The last thing I was just going to say, which is a program that I'm not sure too many people know about, but for 2 years I chaired our budget, what's called Budget Sub 2, which is our budget subcommittee for natural resources and so climate, energy, but also resources. And there was a great program that I fought for, and we protected tens of millions of dollars for a couple of years, and I think that now that's going away, has been, and that we have to keep fighting for. It's called Market Match, which is that people allow the people to use their CalFresh, their food stamps at our farmers markets. And it's a tremendous, huge win-win program where people get fresh food. It obviously helps the farmers and helps our local economy. And to me, it's just a really common sense program, and it's also called CNIP. Sometimes you'll see it referred to as CNIP. I don't know if you're familiar with this program. And so I was really proud to be able to preserve money for that for a couple of years, and I think that's one of the, something I want to just raise up on people's radar, because it's always in jeopardy of getting cut. It's one of these things that's just kind of always on the edge, and I hope it's something that we can help preserve going forward.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, thanks for giving me, and I'll stick around and listen as long as I can, and I really appreciate you convening this and all of you for being here, and I'll make sure my report back to my office as well, because they all, on top of their day jobs, they were doing what many of you do, to kind of get all this food in, shuttle it off to all of your organizations and some food banks and such, and but it was really a labor of love, and they're very tuned in now to this issue. So thank you for hosting this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Good evening. I'm Yvonne Boxerman, and I'm pinch hitting for Glenda Hughes, who is traveling right now. She's our executive director. I apologize for the low-tech presentation. I'm sure Glenda would have had slides and so on. I became a volunteer at the South Palo Alto Food Closet about a year ago after reading an article in the Palo Alto Weekly. Up until that point, I had not known about the existence of this amazing organization. The first thing that I found out is you have to live in Palo Alto to become a client of the Palo Alto Food Closet. So people would go online, they'd find out about us, they'd get on the wait list, and now I'm actually heading up another project which is going through our wait list to get those people on as quickly as we can. As Michelle mentioned, this organization has actually been in existence since the 1970s, which when I heard that, 50 years they've been going, which is really amazing. And then, as now, people had a hard time stretching rent, utilities, food, and all their expenses that they have to go through that need to last them the whole month. Currently, we are located at Covenant Presbyterian Church on East Meadow, right where it kind of meets Middlefield Road, adjacent to Mitchell Park. The church generously provides us with 2 rooms for our usage, for our exclusive usage. So as I said, all of our clients must be housed and they must live in Palo Alto. So after they are vetted as clients, they come to us at an appointed time each week. That's their time. And they also fill out a food preference list. So they are individually served, really. We prepare these carts each week. So Jane gets this card, and Mary gets that card, and Joe gets that card, and it has their requests for what they want in particular food items. We are an agency of Second Harvest, so we have some of our volunteers go to Second Harvest in San Carlos, the warehouse there, and load up several times a week. As we all know, that's become so much more difficult. And during the summer, we get a lot of produce from local farms, from our volunteers. Our volunteers are amazing. They come in with stuff off their trees, literally, and that gets spread out. But now we're in the winter months, and second harvest it's a little bit more difficult. So we're finding we have to use our reserves to actually buy food. During the egg crisis, that was also another problem, that we had to spend quite a bit of money to be able to provide eggs to people during the week. Currently, we have about 200 households I believe that's a monthly basis, with probably 300 or 400 individuals in there. We don't turn away walk-ins. So as I said, these are our clients. They have to be vetted. But when somebody knocks on our door, and being located right next to Mitchell Park means that we get a lot of knock-ins pretty much every day. What we do is we give them enough food for that day. Because they don't have access to refrigerators or ovens like our regular clients, so we give them prepared food, not totally prepared, but things like cheese slices and turkey slices and things they don't have to cook. And we also give them information as to where they can go besides us to get daily food. We operate almost exclusively with volunteer help from the executive director all the way down. There is one admin that we pay, but other than that, every single person who works there, of the 65 that we have, we're all volunteers. And people, as we've heard from others tonight, especially from Senator Becker, people have been so generous over these last month, 2 months, that we're actually in a pretty good place. I said, is it okay to say this? And Glenda said yes. We're in a good place financially right now because we've had so many people donate. Besides goods, they also donate money. So I think that's all that I had planned to say. If you have questions, something I didn't cover, I'm happy to answer those.
Deborah?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be here tonight. I want to give you a few more statistics. This comes from the National Association of Nutrition and Aging. There are 10 million seniors in this country who face food insecurity. 1 in 3 senior meal programs nationally have a wait list and are no longer taking names for their wait lists. Nearly 40% of California seniors face food insecurity. That's a lot of people, 40%. The one thing I will tell you that I'm most proud of one of the things most proud of at La Comida is we never turn anyone away. We do not have a wait list. We have an open door. Our mission is to provide adults age 60 and over with healthy meals in a welcoming, warm environment. And that is twofold: nutrition for your body and nutrition for your soul. So many of our seniors are facing isolation issues. Isolation then tumbles down into mental health issues, and we are looking at a pretty dire situation for many of our seniors. Another statistic that really is shocking to me is by 2030, older adults will comprise 20% of the US population. 20%, that's just 5-6 years away. And government programs have been cut by at least $230 billion, that's with a B, dollars, through 2034, and most of that is through the SNAP and CalFresh programs. So this is a crisis, and it's not getting any better. At La Comida, I am very happy to tell you that we serve hot, nutritious meals that are cooked every single day. We don't have leftovers from yesterday. We serve fresh, nutritious meals every single day, 5 days a week, throughout the entire year. So as I mentioned, that's over 70,000 meals a year to seniors. We see as many as 300, 350 people a day. We have 2 locations, one in South Palo Alto at Stevenson House, where we cook all of our meals fresh every day. And then we package a number of those up, put them in thermal hot bags, and drive them to our downtown location that is currently at the First United Methodist Church, but we are moving in about 5 weeks, and we will be neighbors with Avenidas, and we're so excited. Yes, so we'll be right here on Bryant Street, and looking forward to that partnership. We provide meals and foster social connections, and we find that that is just as important. Many of our seniors that we see live alone, live in small spaces. Again, they don't have full kitchens. And one of the things, and I'll go through our slideshow very quickly, that we are fortunate is we have several grocery stores and vendors who give us their extra produce or their extras that are a day before being expired or not good. And so we're able to give out a lot of that food. What can I tell you? We can go flip to some more of these. As Michelle mentioned, Palo Alto has this wonderful reputation of being such a rich and robust area because of Silicon Valley. Not everyone affords that. So we are seeing more and more people every single day. I think last week we topped out at about 190 in one location, and this Monday we were over 200. We had 220 folks. Next slide. And our folks are happy. They are happy that we're giving them fresh food. The food is diverse every single day. It's a different meal. It's very abundant. We see a lot of people who come with their plastic and they take half of it home so they can have a meal in the evening because this is their only meal of the day that is fresh and prepared. We go strictly by a registered dietitian to make sure that we are providing the healthiest meals, providing low sodium, vitamin A, vitamin C, and making sure that everyone who walks in our door gets a healthy meal. Next slide. We started in the 70s, I think, like we're old folks, just like all the rest of us here, 53 years and counting. And we are devoted and dedicated and motivated. We are not going to close our doors. We've moved around a bit over the years. We haven't had a permanent home, so that's one of the reasons we're very excited about our upcoming move. We were at Avenidas at one time, we left, we were at the Masonic Temple, so we've been roaming a bit, but we are now securely planted at Stevenson House and then coming up at 445 Bryant Street very soon. Our donated goods arrive every morning. We package everything so that everyone is able to get a little bit of something. Next slide. And we start serving at about 11:15, but you can drive by on any day of the week and you will see the line out the door starting around 10:15, even 10 o'clock some days. Next slide. We have a great kitchen staff. We get donations from our partners in the community. And next slide. There's our small but mighty kitchen staff. And as with many others, we are so reliant on our volunteers. Our staff is 7 people, and 5 of those folks are in the kitchen as working chefs. So we have about 60 to 65 volunteers that come every week. They help us serve, they help us set tables, they help us check people in, they help socialize, they help clear tables. One of the things that I'm most proud of also is that when someone walks in our door, it's a very dignified meal. It's not standing online in a buffet and worrying about how much you're taking. Folks sit down to a lovely setting They are served a meal as in a restaurant, and the meals are cleared away at the end. So it's a very dignified setting. We have volunteers from the Hope Center. We have young folks from our high schools. And as I said, we prepare the food that also gets transported to our downtown site every single day. We have some great entertainment every day. And in addition to the entertainment, we also offer resources where they can get their blood pressure checked, where you can find resources for certain health ailments, and how we can help seniors maintain a healthier life. Next slide. There's our van. We have a 20-year-old van. We are in the market for a van, if anyone. This guy is starting to show some wear and tear, but it's serving us well so far. And we're hoping we can replace it with something a little bit newer this year. We talk about friends and food because we feel that both are so important, again, to nourish the body and nourish the soul. Nutritious and delicious, and we find that everyone who comes through our door leaves with gratitude. Thank you so much for being here.
Just want to let you know that my son, who's now 26 and in medical school, when he was 8 years old, his piano teacher brought three of her students to the La Comida lunch, which was in Avenidas, and the three kids each played piano for the seniors, and the seniors loved it. And he actually got his picture in the San Jose Mercury News. So, and I have a copy of it on my wall.
I would love to have a copy of that. I'm sure it's in his baby book.
It's in a frame on the wall, so.
Oh, even better, even better.
So,
well, tell him that
thank you.
there's an open invitation anytime if he'd like to, any of your children like to come back and play for us.
Okay.
Drew, take it away, please.
Thank you. I am also going low-tech today, too. So I really wanted to have a conversation and really talk about what we're doing with the food closet on Hamilton, and we're really excited about it. As some of you may or may not know, Peninsula Healthcare Connection, we've been around for nearly 20 years, and historically, we are known for our healthcare for the homeless and unhoused here in Palo Alto. And as we have grown over the years and as we have expanded, a lot of our unhoused residents have now been housed, and we continue to see them. But we're also seeing a lot of folks in Palo Alto and the surrounding areas who also have housing instability. They have barriers to remaining housed. They also have food insecurity as well. So we're seeing, and as the common theme was today, we also see an aging population. And so we're seeing a lot of folks who are getting a little bit older and do not have the same resources as maybe they did before, or they're struggling to choose, is it going to be the heat today or is it going to be the food today? So having these programs and having a food closet that is associated with our clinic is really important, and we'll talk about that in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, and what we're doing to really address that situation. On a personal note, I really want to say that these programs are really important. My mom actually uses her local food bank where she lives, and she's also on CalFresh. So I speak from, and she has 4 kids. So it's her pride that keeps her from asking for help. I mean, we can definitely send her money and we can send her food, but it's her pride and it's what she wants to do, what works best for her. She's so happy to wake up in the morning, go stand in that line and get food. But it's these programs that really help our seniors. And our seniors are very grateful to be able to have these programs. So I wanted to share that personal note with you. With that being said, I want to talk a little bit about what we do at our food pantry. Our food pantry is a very low barrier program. And I say low barrier, the majority of our programs, all of our programs at Peninsula Healthcare Connection are low barrier. That means we want people to be able to access what they need, when they need it, on their terms. We don't want people to have to wait until we say it's okay for them to get food. We have our hours right now. We are open every day from 9:30 to 2:30, Monday through Friday. We are looking at having some later hours and as well as some weekend hours to expand those to the families who work during the day, who will also need some additional support. So we are looking at that actively. If you have any comments or suggestions on hours, please talk to me or my staff, and we would love to hear some feedback and what the community would like as well too. We are launching a survey next year with our food pantry participants so we can see what needs are needed in the community. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about what the food insecurity looks like in Palo Alto. And I think across the board, we heard a lot of the same common themes today. We're looking at our aging seniors. We're looking at folks who have just, they're choosing again between the heat and the food. They're choosing, is it going to be gas in the car today? Is it going to, be food for my children? We're seeing a lot of on-house folks still, community members without consistent meals. There's a lot of great programs. We heard about CalAIM, our clinic. We'll talk a little bit about the services we have at our clinic and how that complements, but we do also have an ECM program at our clinic. Some of the food programs that are available through the county and through other ways are great. They deliver food to folks and they're able to get food out to them. However, when our on-house folks don't have an address to send food to, where are they going to go to get food? We want to make sure that we can have that warm food, that healthy food for our folks. We're also seeing our seniors on fixed incomes. We're seeing a lot of our vehicle residents. I know some of you have heard about our RV dwellers, but it goes beyond RVs. We do have folks who are just living in their vehicles, whether it's a car or a truck or an RV. We see a lot of vehicle dwellers, and we see a lot of folks who don't have that capability to continue to store perishable foods. So they really rely on having something like the food closet where they can come in and get a grab-and-go salad, get a grab-and-go sandwich, and that really makes their day, and that can make or break if they're going to get enough calories for the day, enough nutrition for the day. And then we see a lot of folks who are just falling through gaps through the formal assistance programs. By that, I mean folks who are maybe they're also on CalFresh or they have other programs. Sometimes they may not have access to those programs, or with CalFresh it's not enough. It doesn't stretch far enough for them. So they need to come out and get that extra food. And again, if they can save $200 on food, that extra $200 could be detrimental to getting heat or to getting their gas so that they can go to work. Right, so we want to be able to have that gap, and we really want to be able to fill that gap. Aside from getting them to work and getting gas in their car, we also know that it affects their mental health, their physical health, and their overall well-being. We want to, as a clinic, we want to make sure that we can keep our community healthy, and that means by ensuring that their well-being is just fully looked after, meaning food, meaning their mental health, their physical health. We see a lot of folks, unfortunately, with hypertension and diabetes, and a lot of times they don't have access to the healthiest food. At our food closet, we really strive to make sure that we have fresh vegetables. We have proteins, chicken proteins, really low-fat food. We have low-sodium foods as well. Sometimes, folks come in and again, they just want something really quick, and we try to get them whatever they can that's really healthy for them. And it's really important for us to really have that balance, because we want folks to be as balanced as possible. That is super important to us. Staying open is really important to us. I mentioned having the reliable access to nutritious food. Another theme that I heard today is the dignity. All of you treat all of our community members with dignity, and that is super important with how we do our business within the clinic as well as the food closet. We want our folks to have the utmost dignified experience when they come into our food closet. Everybody knows our residents that come in. They know all of our volunteers, all of our staff that work there. And it's truly an experience for them to come in, and they're just treated with respect. Staying open really complements our clinical and outreach services. One of the things that we started recently, since we've merged with the food closet, a few weeks ago, we launched a flu clinic at the food closet. So we had about 7 participants come in for flu shots, which is absolutely amazing. That's 7 more people that didn't have their flu shot. So being able to offer something like flu shots at the food closet makes a lot of sense. We also have our outreach team who is stopping by the food closet on a regular basis to promote our services. We can do things like Medi-Cal and CalFresh enrollments. So anyone that needs to enroll in Medi-Cal or CalFresh, we can do that for them. So it's really helpful to have that available for our community. In addition to that, we also will be launching next year, we will be doing glucose and blood pressure monitoring weekly. We do that at some of our other sites right now. So people can come on in, know what their glucose is, know what their blood pressure is, and then we can get them referred off to our providers as needed. For a lot of folks, it's been a successful pilot at some of our other sites where people are coming in and they're saying, oh, wow, I didn't know my glucose was that high. I didn't know my blood pressure was that high. And we've actually been able to get them onto treatment and get their diabetes and their hypertension under control. And having access to food and having someone available to help them choose the right foods will be really helpful. So it's a great pairing to be paired with the food closet. Again, our approach, we really want to integrate our pantry with the clinical and social services. As I mentioned, we do have our outreach team. We do have our ACM, our case management team as well. So as needed, we will be referring folks to case management. We do a lot of warm referrals to benefits and other case management and other healthcare programs. Now that I know some of your faces, I already know all your wonderful programs, which is great. They do complement each other. And one of the really important things that we continue to do with the food closet as we continue to expand it is really bring our trauma-informed person-centered operation to the food closet. Trauma-informed Person Center has worked for all of our programs, and our food closet is no exception. We really want to continue to be trauma-informed. We understand a lot of folks are coming to our food closet who have not the best experiences maybe with social services. Maybe they have some trauma that they're working through. We want to be able to relieve that, and we want to be able to not enhance any other trauma with them. We want to be able to help them come in, get what they need with dignity, and let them go on their way for the day. We really want to focus on equity and health outcomes. How we stay open, just like all the other agencies you heard today, we have our volunteer support who help sort, stock with distribution. We also use, all the same avenues that you've heard today, Second Harvest. We have donations. Avenidas, thank you so much. We've had this food drive, and they said, well, Avenidas wants to donate some food and do a food drive. I said, bring it on. When we had the government shutdown, it really ignited something with our community. It reignited with our community. We already know that we have a very strong community here. And sometimes, when we're in crisis, we just have to remember that we're neighbors and we're friends and we're family, and everyone came together. We had a lot of schools doing school drives, and they were just bringing in tons of food for us. So that's really helpful. That's getting us through this winter. And as you know, it's been a really cold winter. And so we're continuing to see more folks come in. We have group volunteer days, so if there's anyone that wants to come in with a group, please come in and feel free to help. Of course, donations, monetary, gift cards, shelf-stable foods, and then we have partnerships with other businesses and other folks around the area who also donate. So we always want to be able to accept anything from anyone who wants to help us. We do need folks who, we are seeing a huge Mandarin-speaking rise in Mandarin speakers who come out to our food closet, as well as Spanish speaking. So volunteers that speak those two languages would be very helpful. And then how the Human Rights Council can help. Please continue to focus on food insecurity, promote, volunteering with your local food closets and your programs here. We have lots of programs here, lots to go around, lots of volunteer opportunities. And then support the recognition of pantry as vital safety net. That's, essentially what we are. We are a vital safety net. All of our programs here are today, and we want to continue to be available for our community members that need these vital services. So thank you, folks.
Thank you all for coming. You are all rock stars in my world. You're doing the heavy lifting and the hard work to keep our people safe, the vulnerable people that we at the HRC focus on. Do we want to go to commissioner comments or public comments? Chair?
We can go, let's go commissioner comments, and then, or do we have a lot of folks online for public comments? Just one.
Potentially, but they might be here for another topic as well. I'm not sure.
Sorry, we'll do our comments. We'll just quickly go down the line, and then we'll do public comments.
Thank you all for being here. I think I'll start by saying, please invite us when La Comida moves into their new location. I will say of the different nonprofits I've toured while on HRC, La Comida was my favorite experience of going in and sitting with them and hearing the best conversation of. I was asking everyone what brought them here, and the gentleman sitting next to me said, "I met my girlfriend here." And yes. I've got two questions. First one's for Drew. Can you just define for us, the word trauma-informed gets used a lot. Could you give us a specific example of what that means?
I can give you lots of examples. So, when we're talking about trauma, everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different way of viewing trauma and what it means to them. When we are saying trauma-informed, we really want to be aware of how we are providing services. So as a service provider, one thing that we have identified is the way that folks are currently receiving their food, and they have to line up, and they're waiting sometimes. We've been told that reminds some folks as institutionalized experience, and that might prohibit some people from continuing to stay in line. So we want to be aware of that, and we want to be able to say, okay, how can we better that experience so that those folks can continue to come here and receive care?
Awesome. Thank you. That's extremely helpful. My next question is for each one of you, if you can go down the line. What do you anticipate being your greatest need in the next year? And do you see a role that HRC can help with that need?
I will say the biggest need in the next year would probably be continued fundraising, and I say that because we're all coming off of a high right now. There's a lot of folks who really want to help, and they've been helping, which is great. But the need is really getting bigger, right? So as the need gets bigger, we really need to have continued support. And while we love volunteers, we can't do this without volunteers. We can't do this without the food drives. We do need that financial support as well.
So obviously, we will never turn down a check, but I firmly believe that we have to tell the story, that there are just too many people out there who don't know. And when I came on board a few months ago at La Comida, as a Palo Alto resident, I said, La Comida, in my opinion, is one of the best kept secrets. One of my jobs is to diminish that and to make sure that it's not a secret anymore. We have to be able to tell our story and educate people that there is a need, and that this is not the the Royal Silicon Valley Peninsula audience everywhere.
So I think our biggest need right now is to get Second Harvest back on, back working with us, because it's become difficult for us to, to get the food that we need. So we'll be working on that. Hopefully, the government will come back and provide funding so that Second Harvest can serve us all again.
I was deferring to the boss, but I think the awareness of, like you're saying, I mean, just awareness, I think, helping us to help the community become more aware of what we do and what the needs are.
I think I'm going to piggyback, but Katie, we're going to have a welcome to the block party when La Comida moves, so we'll invite you for sure, all of you. Partnership, how do we strengthen, we're stronger together, and so now that I know more people, how can we work together to meet the needs of our community?
Thank you so much. And I think I'll just add to that, because I know they would want us to say this. We've had listening sessions with our faith leaders. I think many of you are already working with them, but they can't emphasize enough, like, using them as an amplification resource to the community, because they do interact with so many thousands of people each week.
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you so much. I learned a ton. I think I have maybe two questions. One was about that van. So I think I'm always looking for tactical things that can get done because the problem is so vast. And you hear it and you just think it's so big. What happens is everyone's just like, I can't do anything about it, so you do nothing. And that's all of us, right? And so the van, I would love to hear more about that. Go ahead.
Our van is a 2004 Ford Econoline, and it was donated to us. So we're kind of second owners. It's large, and what we use it for really is to go and collect food from the various vendors who are donating, and also we load the food in hot boxes to take from our kitchens at Stevenson House to our downtown location. So it's not traveling far, but it's an essential part of what we need. I just got a new windshield and we have new tires, but the van is rusting and it's, it's tired. It's very tired, so we could use any help. Anything newer than 2004 would be like a jackpot.
Okay. And thank you. The second question, I'm just not familiar with Second Harvest. I'm familiar with Second Harvest, but you talked about funding getting cut, so they're not able to give you what they used to give you. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Second Harvest supplies a lot of organizations. We're one of them. In addition to individuals, they're huge warehouses, and they have one in San Jose and one in San Carlos. And I think all of us, I'm sure the rest of the people here use them. And when the funding got cut, then we all, it went down the line. So we all suffered the same way that they have. It's not that they want to do it. They want to help us as much as they can, but things are tough. I don't know if you have another comment to make.
Yes, and what I know about Second Harvest is that because their funds were cut, it then trickled down to the rest of us. They have opened up what's called their marketplace. So what you cannot get donated, we go in and we purchase at a reduced rate. It's certainly better than going out and shopping at Whole Foods or even Safeway. But Second Harvest has taken a huge hit. I will say that the Silicon Valley Community Foundation started a fund called the Lifeline Fund, and they started it just a few months ago with the government shutdown, and they did grant Second Harvest from that Foundation fund, the Lifeline Fund, so it has helped. But, we're still seeing much less available for free and having to go into the marketplace to purchase.
I just wanted to comment that there is another benefit that you are providing in addition to food, and that is the social connection and the sense of community that those who come for a meal also get to sit and interact with and get to know. And didn't you say that somebody met his girlfriend there? That the social connection and social interaction has been shown through research to be as important as food. So thank you. And then regarding the van, I would suggest you contact the Stanford Department of Land, Buildings and Management. When I used to teach on campus, I'd see these vans driving all over campus. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if every now and then one of their vans gets to be 5 years old and they choose to replace it. Anyway, I would contact them and see if there are any vans that they could either sell or donate to you.
I'll just extend my gratitude for you coming today and for you working as hard as I know you all have worked in the last couple of months. And I will also just ask folks to just ask one question moving down the line since we're over time. I'll make one quick point, which is regarding volunteers, there's often a really unmet need or unmet opportunity to connect with families with young children who a lot of you can think of many reasons why families with young children are not good for volunteering, but if you are interested in connecting with families with young children, I'm very active in our local PTA, so feel free to reach out and we could brainstorm ways of getting families with young children involved.
Thanks. This was a good learning session, so thanks for everything you do.
Yes, thank you all for being here. I just have one quick question. So I'm interested in learning about service gaps. So who is still not being served and how do you intend to serve them?
I'll take that one from the older adult perspective, which is what Dawn was saying. There's so many people that we encounter during our visits through door to door and other venues. They're living alone. They don't have family because their families can't afford to live here. And there's days that they're not seeing anybody. There's very limited social support. And so how do we raise the awareness that services like all of ours are here and able to help them? So if you have ideas, Michelle Shinseki is here, our Vice President of Marketing and Communications, and we talk about this a lot.
And I'll just say it's very similar for us. We're seeing a lot of folks who don't have transportation, who don't have that social support to come out. We do get some calls sometimes from the city asking if we can deliver food or if we could bring food out to folks who need it. And if we can, we will. And it's something that we're actually looking at to see how we can expand services to folks.
Hi. Yeah, please reach out to me because we have a new program with our transportation. Within our transportation, we've always had volunteer drivers. They've always been delivering for the South Palo Alto Food Bank already, and we actually wanted to reach out very much to downtown to offer that as well. And we also have minivans now as well they're providing wheelchair and procedure rides for seniors, but in their downtime when we don't have rides, they've been helping, they've been delivering the ones recently, and they can continue to help.
Problem solved.
Just another quick connection between the Avenidas and healthcare. Could you also, Avenidas also runs the Chinese Cultural Center, and if you're looking for Mandarin-speaking volunteers, they would be an excellent resource for you.
Thank you.
And I also, since I'm the volunteer manager as well, I always refer to other organizations for volunteer work if someone has a specialized interest, so I'll be happy to refer to all three of you.
I would just love to make one last comment. It's wonderful that we've been all invited here to share this information. And this is obviously the time of the year when it really does come to top of mind, those who have and who do not have. And I would love it and really appreciate if we could have this conversation in March or in July, because the need doesn't go away just because it's not a holiday time. So to continue to bring the stories and bring the awareness to the public in Palo Alto and surrounding areas would be great. I think we'll all agree that we can bring our show. We are on the road, and we're happy to do this anytime and as much as possible.
In your hope for a new van.
And in our new van, we'll pick everyone up.
You guys are starting to sound like groupies. You've got a show, you've got a van.
I do want to ask Minka, have we ever had, is there a current working group where we can all get together quarterly or something and maybe share ideas and thoughts and needs?
We have not, between just regular nonprofits. We have had one for a while for unhoused seniors or specific senior ideas. We have ideas for the new year on ways to bring nonprofits together for training on certain topics, so that's also a little bit different. And over the years, I've talked with others about like nonprofit chambers of commerce, but I will look to my two colleagues over there and to the HRC who's doing their work plan in January to think of ways that we can bring nonprofits together. I often find sometimes that those type of gatherings can feel really galvanized for a while and then interest goes down. So I think that's been some of the roadblock in the past on bringing people together and just looking at what's the right, secret sauce of amount and time, and that people feel like the issue that is important to their organization is heard, or have a real understanding of what are some, cross-agency issues that all would be interested in. So we're definitely the Office of Human Services, and I'm sure the HRC is interested in pursuing that more.
For coming, and I want to encourage my fellow commissioners to make this part of our work groups as we go forward, because this is a problem likely unhoused. It's not getting better. It's going to keep going up. We got 3 more years, and we have to weather the storm. So thank you all for coming. You are very dear to me, as you know, and let's get questions from the public.
If you have any questions, or if you have any comments regarding this item, please let me know. Raise your virtual hands or in person. And I see no hands, Chair. Oh, we have one there. Wonderful.
Yeah, I've done some food rescue myself. I have shopped at Country Sun since it's opened in 1977, and because I was on such good terms with the employees there, at one point about 2 years ago, one of them pulled me aside and said, "Deb, you want some of this food? We're about to throw it all out." Well, I went home and got my cargo bike, which is a big old bucket, and it filled, mounded, and I soon found out that they throw out about $3,000 to $4,000 a month of food, and I got busy rescuing it. And one of the things I did was take the perishables, and I had permission to go and watch the dates, and I knew when, I'd come in early before the store opened, and I'd pull everything that was due that day, and then I had the whole network, and I'm familiar with all your groups. I am. I have about 10 different options, and it depends on who was available at what time and what they needed. It was a very elaborate operation, and I was discussing this with the mother of my next door neighbor, who she said, "Oh, well, don't you know about Vancouver Food Rescue?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "No." And she said, "Yeah, I founded that. We rescue about 10 to 12,000 pounds of food a week." I'm like, "What?" So it turns out Vancouver Food Rescue does, in macrocosm, what I was doing in microcosm, and they've been doing it for quite a lot of years. At some point, I don't know if it was the county or the district or the city, I don't know Canadian politics at all, or arrangement, they instituted a tipping fee for their dumpsters, and all of a sudden, the grocery stores had to pay a lot of money. And one of the grocery stores said, hey, how about we put some money in, raise some money, got together with the Rotary Club, and created Vancouver Food Rescue, which did exactly what I did, and it's about getting all of this food quickly to all the right partner agencies in the right time, and they have a 12 to 24-hour turnaround. It's not being done here. There is that rule that says they can't throw whatever it is, trying to reduce carbon, thank you, in the trash, so I know that Whole Foods has upped its game, yeah, right? Food Closet knows it, yeah, and, but there's still a tremendous amount of waste that happens, especially in the dairy. And it doesn't have to be that way. It has to come from the county. There has to be a county rule that it puts some thumb screws and some motivation on. And when Joe Samedi was in office, I had started talking to some of his reps, and they were interested, but I have to be part of the Rotary Club to have some leverage to make this happen, and to be part of the Rotary Club, you have to be a business owner. I'm not that, so I figured I'd put this idea out there. There's something, a piece missing, and we could talk about 50,000 pounds a week in Santa Clara County that could be going to people who are not getting it. So, on your plate now. Enjoy.
Leave your contact information if we wanted to follow up. We've got it. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Should we take a 3-minute break?
Okay, we'll take a 3-minute break, but we're
So
about
Michelle,
20, a little over.
Michelle can go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Okay, a little bio break. We'll be right back. I'll go quick through the accomplishments. All right, moving on to the next agenda item, which is the review of last year's accomplishments. Do we need to take public comment first, or can we just dive in? We can just dive into
I
that,
would
right?
just do the presentation
Okay,
first.
great.
just to be consistent.
I will go through this very quickly, but I do want to recognize the accomplishments from the past year. A note that this is actually a bit longer than a year because of the unusual way the terms were structured. So this is from April of 2024 to December 2025. The reason we're going to spend just a few moments going through this is to really seed ideation for next meeting, which will be our work plan retreat. A reminder, and also to those of you who are new, the work plan and the way that it works is that we come together with our ideas of what we would like to achieve as a commission, discuss it as part of the retreat, and then the chair, the vice chair, along with the staff, they formalize it into the work plan. They come back with the work plan, and then we vote it that we all agree, or we make any amendments to if it doesn't reflect something that we've discussed. And then once we vote in our work plan, it goes to city council for their approval. That can sometimes take a while, but we usually start working on the work plan immediately. So that's sort of where we're at in this process. Let me go quickly through what our accomplishments were in the past year. Or would we like to take just a couple minutes to read it quietly to ourselves? Should we just take a couple minutes now, and then if people have anything they would like to add or say about it, we can do that. That might be more quick than me just having to read through this list. Katie, do you have thoughts?
I support
Okay,
sustained silent reading.
let's spend 2 minutes in silence just reading through the work plan. If folks are online, you can play along. It's included with the accomplishments are included with the agenda. Okay, looks like most folks are done reading. So as you can see, we've actually had a pretty productive 18 months. Our mission continues to be to meet the unmet needs of the most vulnerable in our community and to bring awareness to them and help the city to meet those needs. As we prepare for the upcoming retreat, I did have just some thoughts as I'm concluding my term as chair. And one of the things I'd really recommend as we move forward is to focus very much on a couple of areas. The first is just areas in which the city can take action. That's always our biggest, the biggest parameter, I would say, around what we should focus on in the year ahead. We also, just in the last, I'd say, 3 to 6 months, have kind of accidentally dissolved our subcommittee structure a bit. I think we haven't been meeting in our subcommittees as much as we used to. And I'm hoping in the year ahead that we can kind of reconvene at the retreat, go back through and reform our subcommittees so that we can have a deeper chance to vet our ideas, to push ourselves and our thinking further before we bring things to the actual commission and to our agenda. My recommendation is as we go forward to reconvene in our subcommittees, I think we'll have to probably reassign them to whatever folks are interested in, usually along the areas that the areas that we've already been prioritizing: public safety, public health, housing, economic justice, development, inclusion, and belonging. I don't think that we necessarily need to start from scratch, but I do think being more active in our subcommittees, I think, will be a way of re-engaging ourselves and pushing ourselves to have more thoughtful and richer discussion when the subcommittees come forth with agenda items. So I think that would be my one recommendation as we move forward. And then just as a reminder about how things do make it onto our agenda, usually it's with the, just like we do in the commission itself, we have to have two kind of nominations. So if you have something you're interested in, finding a partner or finding someone else on your subcommittee to work on it with you, I think would be a great way to, again, let's lean on each other more in the coming year. So working through your subcommittee, finding a partner if there are things that you would like to see on the agenda. So those are my recommendations as we think through what you would like to do in the year ahead. I don't think we need to boil the ocean. We already have a lot of things that we've started. As you read through those accomplishments, there's a lot of things that were presentations in the past year or the past 18 months that I think we could probably take further. So building off the work we've already done rather than starting from scratch as well. So those are my thoughts on the work plan. Is there any public comment on the work plan before we?
I don't see any hands raised,
Okay.
Chair.
Anything commissioners would like to add as we prep for the work plan in January?
I just want to say I fully support your recommendations. I think that's great guidance.
Thanks, Katie. Commissioner Causey. Great. And with that, then,
Do we know when is the
retreat?
Yeah.
I think the retreat, Alina, will be the second Thursday of January. And will it be here, or do we manage to get the community room?
As of now, it will be in this room.
In this room, okay.
Yes.
So it will actually look and feel exactly like an HRC meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, it's confusing that we call it
When
a
I heard
retreat.
retreat, I thought it'll be somewhere and we have to take some time off.
We will provide you dinner.
Yeah, we do get dinner.
Oh, it's in the evening, not the whole day? Okay.
Yeah, just the evening. So it'll be, Thursday, January 8th, regular start time, 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Yep. It may run a little longer, just depending, yeah.
Can we commingle
Yeah.
more? I need.
All right. Okay, then let's move to the next agenda item, which is the election. Oh, wait. Sorry, I thought you were writing me a note. Okay, yes, let's move on with the election. Sorry, I've just lost my agenda. And for this, I'm going to rely very heavily on Elena to guide us through. We follow the same procedures that the city council does, and in how we convene and run the election. Before we begin with the election for chair, which I believe is where we start, is that right? I would just like to say a few words about what the role entails.
Great, and before you do that, do folks want me to go over the procedure? You were very kindly provided that by Elena. If there's clarity on the process, we can have the chair proceed. If you feel like you need some clarity on the process, I can go over that, or Elena can go over that.
Yeah, actually, Elena, would you mind just quickly walking through? It's pretty light what the procedure is. I think it'll just make it clear for everybody.
Yes, Chair Stimler will begin with a review of the chairperson's role. Then the chair will open the floor to nominations. Any commissioner can nominate another commissioner. They do need to be, the nominated commissioner does need to be present, but you all are here. Then the chair will ask if the nominated person accepts the nomination. And once someone is nominated, you do not need to be, they don't need to be nominated again. You will have an opportunity to voice your support of that person a little bit later in the process. So after the nominated person accepts, they would go on to, if there's another nomination, you can also nominate yourself. Once there are no further nominations, the chair will ask someone to make a motion to close nominations, and we will need a second for that, and then I will call a roll call vote for you. Once the motion is passed, commissioners then have an opportunity to, voice their support of the nominee or nominees. After that, we will have public comment, and then once that commences, we will vote on the nominees. If there is one nominee, I will conduct a verbal roll call vote. If there is more than one nominee, we do have ballots prepared. Vice Chair Kraus, do you have a question? Oh, no, okay.
Oh, I just have one clarifying question, which is, so people nominate, it only takes one nomination, and then oh shoot, now I've just lost my question. We'll have to get back to my question, my apologies.
That's all right. And then once the new chair is nominated, that chair will then take over the proceedings for the vice chair vote, which is exactly the same as chair.
Oh, I know, my question was, when do we do public comment?
It will be after you have closed nominations and after any commissioners have voiced, their comments.
Okay, all right. Are there any
If they
other
have
questions
them.
before we go going? I was just asking folks if they had any other clarifying questions before I start describing the role of the chair. The role of the chair is listed out on here, so if anyone has any detailed questions about what the role of the chair is, I recommend looking at this. But I would say primarily the role of the chair is fairly light. I would say it's a time commitment of between 5 and 10 hours a month. Shorter if it's a pretty light agenda, much longer if it's something that requires a lot of preparation. I would also say that the chair, the biggest role, the main role of the chair is setting the agenda, but even this role is not, this is a very democratic process. People can nominate things to be on the agenda. So long as they have 2 people, it should go on the agenda, regardless of whether or not the chair personally feels like it should be on the agenda. And the other piece of the agenda is that it really should reflect what the commission feels is important, not just the individual chair. So making sure that even if you are the chair or vice chair, that you consult with your subcommittee and that you find a partner to go forward with the agenda item with you. I think that's probably, so yes, the chair supposedly sets the agenda, but the agenda should be really set as a full commission and should work off of the work plan rather than any of the personal needs or personal desires of the chair. But the chair should work to make sure that the agenda reflects what the commission would like to be working on and addressing. I think that's primarily it. And then there's a lot of procedure around running the meetings. But as you can tell from my excellent example, it is okay to ask for help and get a lot of help from the city staff who guide us through the process. So don't let the procedural pieces of it dissuade you if you're interested. And I think with that, does anyone have any questions about being chair before we take nominations? All right. With that, I ask for nominations.
Yes. Hi. I'm sorry, Amy. I would like to nominate Vice Chair Kraus to be the chair.
And Commissioner Kraus, do you accept the nomination? I do. Thank you.
Is there a second nomination?
I have a, what is the term of the chair, and can the chair be re-elected?
There is 1 year, and there is nothing in the municipal code that keeps the chair from serving more than 1 year.
I would nominate Mary Kate Stimler.
Thank you, Don, but as I made clear at last month's meeting, I'm not going to accept the nomination, but thank you very much. I have an incredible opportunity at Stanford this year that I'd like to focus on instead. Take a roll call?
No, I need someone to make the motion to close the nominations, and then someone to second, please.
Oh, thank you. See how I'm role modeling being a chair who asked for help?
I would move that we close the nominations and
I second that.
All right, so the motion to close the nominations, I'll start with Commissioner Causey.
Public comment.
Nope. We close the wait.
Public comment by the public.
No, we close the nominations and then people speak to the nominees.
Oh, you meant for them. Sorry.
That's all right. Commissioner Causey.
Aye.
Commissioner Ansari.
Aye.
Commissioner Barr.
aye.
Commissioner Stimler.
This is just to close the nomination, right?
Yes.
Yeah, aye.
Commissioner Kraus.
Aye.
Commissioner Carnum.
Aye.
Commissioner Shea.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes to close the nominations. Now you can move on to commissioner comments and then public comment.
Commissioner comments? All right, then we'll move to public comments.
Okay, so anybody in person, or if you haven't already, turn in a card to Elena or raise your hand online. I do have one hand on raise. I was going to see if you had any in person. Okay. So Sarah, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, and thank you, HRC, for supporting our community and local nonprofits. To me, human relations receives too little attention from council and the community. Yet its mission is central to ensuring that Palo Alto is cohesive, inclusive, and responsive to us all. We live in our own bubbles, and the HRC's work requires purpose, thoughtfulness, and discipline to bridge divides. In that context, as you vote for chairperson, I want to express concerns about selecting Commissioner Kraus for this role. I acknowledge and respect her tenure on the HRC and community service, but question whether her leadership best serves the Commission's charge. I attended the meeting in which the HRC for the first time created a space for local Muslim community members, many taking the risk to speak publicly during a time of deep distress. After emotional and vulnerable personal stories about their lived experience, Commissioner Kraus's response came across as inappropriate in the moment. It was inconsistent with the sensitivity required to protect a safe and respectful environment. Intent aside, the effect was upsetting to many present, including me as a 20-year resident of our culturally diverse city. More recently, during her reappointment comments, Ms. Kraus noted a tendency to speak without fully thinking matters through, while expressing no regret for doing so. Too many leaders today do exactly that, and when asked to introspect, double down on their insensitivities. In the role of HRC chair, where tone, care, and perception matter greatly, I believe this presents a meaningful concern. For these reasons, while I appreciate Ms. Krause's contributions, I respectfully urge the Commission to select a different chairperson for the coming term. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see additional names. That would close public comment.
Then if there's only one candidate, we're not doing ballots, right? So we'll just take the roll call.
All right, I will now take a roll call vote for the nomination of Commissioner Krause for chair. Commissioner Kazi.
Aye.
Commissioner Ansari.
I'd like to abstain.
Commissioner Barr.
Aye.
Commissioner Stimler.
Aye.
Commissioner Krause.
Aye.
Commissioner Carnum.
Aye.
Commissioner Shea.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. Congratulations, Chair Krause.
Thank you. And I am grateful for the work. Thank you. For the work that Chair Stimler has done. Thank you for being present. I'm sorry there was some difficult words said, but I promise to be moral going forward in every way, shape, and form as we deal with the most vulnerable in our population and very difficult issues to come forward. I can't say any more than that, than I know that I have gone forward with good spirit and goodwill. Thank you.
Now does the new chair take over the rest of the election? Sorry, she could.
I'm sorry.
Do you need a copy?
Let us move forward with nominations for the vice chair.
Oh, sorry, Chair Krause, please go over the role of vice chair first.
Oh, I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, where is
Oh, here,
it?
just tell them a little bit about what it means to be vice chair. Since you were just vice chair, you can
Well,
do it. You
I'd
can
be
do it off the
happy.
cuff.
Yes. The vice chair plays a really essential role, and I look forward to working with someone going forward. I'm sorry that Chair Stimler will not be able to do that at this moment in time. I think the role of the vice chair is always to be present, always to back the chair, always to have information and be supportive and available. To sit next to the chair, to have comments, to send little notes when they're necessary, because we're all human and we sometimes don't remember what we should be doing at that exact moment. I think the vice chair is a very important role because it keeps the stability of a commission going forward. It's a lot of work. I actually think I put in much more than 4 or 5 hours a month. And I would hope that the vice chair going forward would consider putting more hours in and being available and being a very active vice chair. So, should we open at this point? Okay, I'm watching you. For nominations.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Kazi for vice chair.
And I'd like to nominate.
Sorry, before,
sorry.
Commissioner Kazi, do you accept
Oh,
the
do you
nomination?
accept?
I accept the nomination.
Thank you.
I'd like to nominate Sri Hanan. as vice chair. And I murdered your name, but that's okay. You love me anyway.
Commissioner Carnum, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Any other nominations at this time? Then I'm going to look for someone to make a motion to close the nominations for vice chair, please.
I move to close the nominations.
And I second.
All right, I will now take the roll call vote to close the nominations for vice chair. Commissioner Causey.
Aye.
Commissioner Anasari.
Aye.
Commissioner Barr.
Aye.
Commissioner Stimler.
Aye.
Chair Kraus.
Yeah, aye.
Commissioner Carnum.
Aye.
Commissioner Shea.
Aye.
All right, thank you. That passes the motion. I will now be handing out paper ballots. Give me a moment to prepare them and let us know if you need a pen, please.
And just
See
one,
if there's any public comment. I'm a little unsure, but I think since they are separate, so if anybody has public comment regarding vice chair, please raise your hand. We will give Alina just a second to
and the
do
one
this.
thing just I wanted to clarify about the public ballots, sorry, I'm not the chair anymore, so I might be speaking out of turn, but is that the ballots will still be public even though they are written ballots. Your vote will be made public.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, how smart you did this.
to vote on this one. Oh, yes, but for each candidate, sorry. No, I didn't explain it, I'm sorry. All right, thank you for bearing with me. This is the first time we've done paper ballots. The nomination for Commissioner Causey received 4 yays from Commissioner Stimler, Commissioner Barr, Commissioner Ansari, and Commissioner Causey. Commissioner Causey received 3 nay votes, which would be Commissioner Carnum, Chair Kraus, and Commissioner Shea. So the nomination for Commissioner Causey passes. Do I also need to go through? Okay, sorry. For Commissioner Carnum, received 3 yays from Commissioner Carnum, Chair Kraus, and Commissioner Shea, with the 4 nay votes of Commissioner Stimler, Commissioner Barr, Commissioner Ansari, and Commissioner Causey. So the motion for Commissioner Carnum does not pass. Thank you. Thank you all for bearing with me there. And congratulations to Vice Chair Causey. My portion is done. Vice Chair Causey, you're welcome to say a few words if you'd like, or I will hand it back to Chair Kraus.
I'll just say really quick, I think coming into this role, it's really important to me. I said this last year, but this is a team sport and I trust my teammates. I think that commissions are best when there's a clean rotation of leadership. I think part of this public service is that you get a chance to serve in a leadership role. And I want to make sure in the next year that we have a lot of new commissioners, and I want to make sure we're supporting them as much as possible, that people are showing up prepared, understanding the role, feel supported, so that when their turn comes up, they are ready to step into that leadership role.
Microphone, please, Chair.
Sorry.
Maybe the last time I'm going to say that.
Oh, Minka. Oh, please.
Brings us
To the recognition of Minka in all of our lives, which has been impossible to measure. She's been a friend, she's been a mentor, she's been a leader, she's been a teacher, and she's been a good colleague. So here we go. I don't know what. You're leaving me when I'm chair. I mean, Minka, who's going to be my conscience? Sitting there going, Michelle. Anyway, Minka, we all appreciate who you are and who you will still be in our lives. Yeah, and maybe we want to each say something that is important to you to share with Minka. I know that former chair, Mary Kate, has prepared some remarks as opposed to me, who is extemporaneous and from the heart. Go for it.
I am not extemporaneous, but I am from the heart.
But you are
All right,
from the
so,
heart.
Minka, this is for you. As I said earlier in this meeting, our mission is to promote the just and fair treatment of all people in Palo Alto, particularly our most vulnerable populations. And your work has been invaluable to the commission in meeting that mission. In fact, I would say, Minka, that you personally personify this mission. For over 20 years, you have touched countless lives across every corner of our community. Those of us who have worked alongside you, as I did as chair, know that you bring not just your expertise, but your whole heart to this work. In a meeting last week, it was actually Drew, said you used two powerful words to describe you: kind and helpful. And those words sum it up beautifully. But I also want to highlight the specific ways you have been kind and helpful to the most vulnerable in our town. You have been at the heart of our city's efforts to serve those who need it most: the unhoused and the hungry, the elderly and the disabled, survivors of domestic violence, immigrants and working families, children and their caregivers, and our ethnic, racial, and religious communities facing discrimination and hate. You facilitate, you coordinate, you bring people together, nonprofits, service providers, vulnerable community members, to tackle our most pressing challenges. Minka, you also go the extra mile to help someone in need, and your kindness has been a constant in a world that feels increasingly filled with hate. You're not just kind, you are also fierce. You stand up firmly for what you believe, you speak up and challenge us to do better, you advocate relentlessly for those who need it and for what you think is right. That strong voice, that unwillingness to settle for good enough, has made our work stronger and our impact deeper. Personally, you have been so helpful to me as I learned to be an effective commissioner and then as an effective chair. I love the word that Chair Kraus called you a teacher, and that is what you have been to me, and I know to many of our other commissioners. You know everyone and everything, and you know how to get things done. Thank you for your 2 decades of service, for your compassion, and your conviction. Palo Alto is a better place because of you, and more importantly, it's a better place for the people who otherwise might have been left behind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Causey?
I think I just wanted to say what an amazing mentor you've been to me. Like, before I was a commissioner, I knew you in my nonprofit work. The amount that you've taught me about public service, about how local government functions and how to navigate things, it's not something that everybody gets. And it was so invaluable to have you bestowed that on me.
Thank you.
Minka, I've only known you for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but you've been wonderful. You've been so helpful. It's actually very true, kind, helpful, and very knowledgeable. So I'm really bummed that you're leaving, but at the same time, we're getting someone new who's also going to be wonderful.
You're in good hands.
Are you local?
I am local.
So we can find you still?
Oh, not local in Palo Alto.
So thank you for everything.
Yeah,
and
you can go find her.
Go find her? Yeah.
She's over the line.
Okay. Thank you.
So I just want to say that I've been working as an advocate for about 25 years for housing, homeless services, healthcare, and so on. And of those 25 years, 20, Minka has been there, and I have had numerous opportunities to interact with Minka and get her views and to work on projects. And so, Minka, thanks so much for what you have done.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Minka, it's been great knowing you for the last 5-6 months. I think what we lacked in quantity, we made it up in quality. I think we've had some really great conversations. I think you helped me a lot on board.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your retirement.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Minka, thank you so much just for your dedication, for your hard work. You're the fount of knowledge, and I just admire your dedication, your tenure here in the city.
Thank you.
We will all miss you, and you've just been a light. So thank you.
Thank you. I just have to take a second. I realize my computer just died, and we might have to.
Well, then I will take a moment.
Oh.
No, just to publicly thank you for your guidance, and it's been a pleasure to work with you the past 3.5 years. And then also, I'm going to call someone out. I know that past Commissioner Valerie is online, and you may speak at this time if you would like to, Valerie, after I've called you out, sorry.
Thank you. I'd like to.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Think of how much you've accomplished. How many programs you've shepherded to fruition. We often forget to recognize your work and thank you for these accomplishments. So here and now, as a citizen, I'd like to thank you for all the work that you've done with our most vulnerable populations, the homeless, infants needing daycare, women needing safe shelter, and more. As a commissioner, which I was some time ago, I want to thank you for keeping the HRC on safe waters, keeping us on safe ground while encouraging us to take new ideas forward, and at the same time avoiding landmines. And as a friend, I'd like to thank you for sharing your goodwill and your mentorship and a warm cup of tea. In 26 years, council members have come and gone, and Minka's been there. City managers have come and gone, and Minka has been there. City budgets have been adequate and inadequate. Council liaisons come and go, and Minka has been there. You were always there taking careful notes, and you've been kind and wise and diligent. You're going to be a hard act to follow. I enjoyed working with you immensely. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie, so much. And I just want to thank you all. I think I've said to many, working for the city of Palo Alto has been the highlight of my career. First in recreation, and then I knew I wanted to be in human services, and I took every opportunity to volunteer for anything they needed in human services that they didn't have a staff member to do, because I just knew that that's where my heart was. And as Dawn mentioned, Kathy Espinoza Howard, when she retired earlier than I expected her, I said, I'm going to put my name forward, and I was so lucky that I got the opportunity to work in human services, to work on so many issues that I'm passionate about, to work with all these groups of folks that have come on the HRC, some for a time, some for a longer period of time, and been able to really see your passion, to help your passion, to amplify what I wanted to do in human services, really came to fruition through the work of so many commissioners over the year. I've been blessed with wonderful colleagues, from Elena to Mary before her to Debbie before her, and have felt really supported by my supervisors in human services and in the city. And on the council, I'm always amazed at the council when it comes time for HISRAP and for supporting our wonderful organizations in the community. They always come forward to do that in a very strong way. So I thank each of you for your commitment. Thank you for your support over the years. I have learned so much from all of you, from your personal dedications, for your connections to organizations in the community. And I thank you so much, and I'm sure you will give the same support to Sophie as she learns more about the role. But it's been a wonderful career with the city, and I will definitely miss it. But I feel like it's a wonderful transition to do other things with my life right now. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Minka. Who's gonna say, turn on your mic, Michelle? Any event. Sophie, it's your turn to shoot. All right, let's go to city official reports. And also, we have goodies afterwards. Please stay, partake, share stories, and toast Minka to the next step in our life. So, are there any commissioner reports? His rep? Amy, do you want to do that? Okay, his rep. We've been meeting with Minka up until just the other day, and we're doing a review of the needs assessment and the consultant's work on needs assessment, and we have a new statement, which I didn't bring. Did you?
Well, I could read if my computer would turn on, but it, for some reason.
I think you're retired.
No, it's turning on now, but it won't be on with enough time to do that. So that could be shared at the retreat next
We can share it with
week,
you.
next month.
Yeah. And Amy has been instrumental along with Minka's input, and we've been a very, very active subcommittee, marching forward to have a better process for his rep going forward. Anybody else? All right, council, Greer is not here. Okay, staff. Is there something new you want to say? Something important?
Not that I can think of. I didn't have anything on my list today. I know.
All right, then I guess public comment, commissioner comments.
There is no public comment on this.
Okay.
So just, and if any commissioners has any announcements or so forth.
Vice Chair Causey. Commissioner? No?
No, I will make a quick joke. In our last meeting with the police department,
Yes.
they did say that Michelle and I would be great at robbing things together, so.
Whoa, I mean, that's a lot coming from the police department. They would know.
Well, they know better than all of us. I have a feeling the chief keeps an eye on, even though he's quiet.
So long as it's a Robin Hood kind of. It'll keep within the HRC mission.
Exactly. I guess we're ready. Anybody else? I'm sorry, I didn't look this way. Comments? You just want food. Let's adjourn. Thank you.